Welcome to a special edition featuring my man, Juan Daniels. What is
Where,
welcome back? Welcome
where
back.
where's Wando, right?
Where is Wando is right. Where is Wando? Guys,
Sir, yes, sir.
tomorrow is G Day. Tomorrow's G Day. How does that make you feel?
Man, it's exciting, man. I tell you, it's a lot different G Day than than when I played. I could comfortably say we may have had like 6 or 7 thousand people that would show up. I mean, you could hear people yelling across the field. When we were there versus what it is now. Back to back national champions. Who wouldn't want to come out there and see G Day? And then before that, at 2 o'clock, you have the alumni flag football game, which I'll be participating in. I don't know how well I'll do, but I'll definitely be participating in it.
So welcome into the DGD Podcast. Special DGD After Dark, shall I say? Um, Juan, you mentioned this. What about this game you're talking about? Enlighten us on this. I want to hear some deets on the stuff.
On the flag football game.
Most
Yeah,
definitely.
yeah, it's just some older guys, really, pretty much just living out their dreams. Again, getting between the hedges, which is really cool. The head coach of the black team, which I'll be playing on, is a guy named Jeffrey Thomas, who I actually played with him. So he was there with Kirby, Bobo, Eric Zaire. So he was there. Muschamp, he was there during that group. So he's our head coach. We got a couple of guys, Matt Storm, who played. My old roommate, Deshae McKeever, he'll be out there, and then we'll be going against the Red Squad. So look for us to win. Probably, it'll be a close game. I'd say maybe 63-3. That's what
In honor of Project Pat. Got
Yes,
it.
sir. Yes, sir.
Oh man, where is Pat? By the way, I think he'd be too giddy if Rudes would bark here.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah,
be
yeah,
honest.
yeah.
So I
He
know
might be past Patrick's bedtime right now, 8:06.
he old as shit too. It's okay.
Yeah, yeah.
No, in all seriousness, though, folks, obviously welcome in. Doing something different, right? It's like I said, DGD After Dark. Um, obviously Nate McBride, he should be coming on shortly, getting everything situated with that.
Yeah.
So we will await his presence, if you will.
Yeah, I'm sporting my Georgia Bulldog hoodie from Alumni Hall. So if you get an opportunity, drop by Alumni Hall, and then tomorrow at the game, before the game, I'll have another hoodie that I got at Alumni Hall. So.
Speak of the damn devil. This right here. How about them dogs? Another shirt from Alumni Hall. And speaking of, that's a first intro into one of our sponsors. So, with that being said, Juan, you mentioned stopping by Alumni Hall. Listen, stop by their store tomorrow if you're going to Athens, and mention the DGD podcast, and you'll get 10% off your purchase. Yeah, or you can shop on their website. Head over to dgdpodcast.com/alumni hall, and you can shop there. And listen, they got licensed Nike, Cutter and Buck, Columbia, got Yeti stuff, got all your game day gear stuff fresh in. Just Coach's Polo just came in. Listen, good stuff. And
you're already going to get it anyways. Why not go by and get it at Alumni Hall? Why not get 10% off?
I mean, listen, you heard the goat has spoken. Okay, when the goat speaks, you listen. Damn it,
sure.
It's that simple. It's that simple. Juan, let's talk about this though. Obviously, we had our show Wednesday. We're previewing G Day. So with you being away, I wanted to ask this question to you. And what is the main thing? What's something you're looking forward to tomorrow?
I'm looking forward to just the quarterback battle, to see these guys play. One of the things I think a lot of people don't realize is that even if the Georgia, offense is going against the second string defense, that second team defense is going to be about as good as you can get in the SEC, let alone across the country. So those battles are going to be good. And then, of course, when you're going to have, the second string guys going up against the first string guys, how well do those second string guys hold up? do they hold up to that pressure? Because, again, you're probably going to be facing one of the top defenses in the nation.
No, I mean, I think you're right. I think you look at some situations where, um, you got obviously the quarterback competition, right? You've got some position battles that are going to go on, but you're also going to see some freshmen, right, for the first time. And listen, from what I've seen in the 23 cycle, we're about to see some impressive athletic ability. Honestly, aside from the athleticism, I think if you look at, I think another thing for me is with the freshmen themselves, how far along have they come in regards to playbook retention? Obviously, you practiced. A lot of these guys come in early enrollee, right? So a lot of these guys are ready for what is it, bowl practices and things like that. And then you got the culmination of the spring. So it's going to be interesting to see how far along these guys are understanding the playbook. I think that matters. But at the same time, right, like you might see situations where some of these guys might just be able to just go on the field, and obviously you want to play within the system and play to the playbook, but there's going to be situations where coaches will draw up something to kind of highlight these things, maybe.
Yeah, Lawson Lucky, I heard, is a name that I've heard that he's done extremely well. They had a couple of write-ups on him and how well he's doing. And then again, think about it too. Like a lot of these guys, Oscar Delp, I think he came in the spring of last year, and he was able to pick some things up. And look how well, you had Malachi Starks do as a freshman. So again, like you talked about this playbook retention, how well are they going to do? And this is an opportunity to shine. I mean, although prime time, or there's not. Georgia's what is on ESPN2, I believe.
Yes, 4:00 tomorrow.
Either way, you're going to have an opportunity to be on national television. So what an opportunity to get out there and shine, let everybody know who you are, and just be those names to watch out for.
Yeah, as Pat is up past his bedtime, says, "Oh, look, a new guest." Yeah,
new guest.
You want to introduce yourself again?
Yeah,
just for Pat.
Yes, sir. I'm Wando. I'm Wando.
Wando.
Been asking, where's Wando? I love it.
It rhymes with Mondo.
Yes, it rhymes with Mondo. Yeah, exactly.
Those drinks from my childhood.
What's up, Joe Huff? What's going on, man? Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show, man.
So yes, the old guy is Juan Daniels. Not to be mistaken for the GOAT, because they're two different entities.
You've never seen them at the same place at one time.
It's like Kobe Pierce and Swolders.
Yes, exactly. Two different people. Bruce Banner and the Hulk.
Hey, do you want to talk about our next sponsor? Do you want to talk about Mr. Apotheos Coffee? You want to talk about that for a second?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, man. Listen, if you guys had an opportunity, hop into the they need to be in this brigade chat. The brigade chat, every day they just talk about how amazing the Apotheos coffee is, and the bags that they buy now. I believe they have is it the K cups now, Rob?
No, the K cup. That's a big kind of announcement. That'll be coming up soon.
Okay, that'll be coming up soon. So yes. That's going to be huge. I'm a Keurig guy, so I can't wait for those to come up. So I'm pretty excited about that.
Absolutely. Speaking now the man of the hour, Nate McBride. How are you? How are you, sir? How are you?
Nate the Great. What's going on, man?
My apologies. I was trying to figure everything out.
Not a problem, my man. Not a problem. It's good to have you back on the show, man. It's been a little while. How's NASCAR life been going for you?
It's good, man. We're in the season. We're in the first half of it, so we're just trying to get the best pit stops, trying to get some wins. I'm just trying to keep it rolling.
I mean, it's interesting because the first time we had you on, I don't know if a lot of people really knew, what was going on with Nate, if you will, right? So, knowing the NASCAR side of things now, man, it's interesting because now I'm sitting there trying to watch races on Sundays and stuff and trying to find you. I'm like, where? And that's how I'll sit there and talk to you offline. It's like, hey, like, are we still doing this? Like, all right, cool.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But yeah, so obviously, man, G-Day's tomorrow, right? Let's start with this. What was G-Day like for you?
Man, I tell you what, it was fun. You got it's not really long, but you have the I guess you could say, long spring practices, and it's fun, but at the same time, you know, you're getting tired and you're always hitting bodies. So you get to the game, and it's really the time for those young guys to show out and show what they got. And there's always an opportunity because everybody gets to play. So there's always an opportunity to show what you're made of and what you know can bring to the table. So I think it'll be fun. For me, it was fun, but also after the fact, it was also fun to getting to chill with the guys. So.
I was about to say, I mean, you know, it's interesting because you came in with Fromm and LeCount and all those guys too. So like, you know, you're under, you know, Kirby Smart, right? Juan actually played with Kirby when he was at Georgia. So the clash of styles, it's so fun. I didn't know if you knew that, but fun fact for those that didn't know. So, you know, it's fun to have this different perspective because you've got someone and Kobe, if he pops in, Kobe played under Kirby as well. So it's fun to hear this dynamic of, you know, Juan playing with him. And then, you know, people that played under Kirby, it's completely different. Almost it's funny. But sure. I mean, obviously the main takeaway for tomorrow is the quarterback situation. I know your boy Stetson winning back-to-back natties. I know the last time you were on, we were talking about just coming off of one, and here we are now. We looking at back-to-back on the verge of a three-peat. You know, so obviously with Stetson being gone, what are your thoughts if you've been keeping up with it on the quarterback competition, and what do you expect to see tomorrow, maybe?
You know, that's a good question. I've been asking that question to myself. So, you know, Carson Beck was there, I think, either a year or 2 years while I was still there, and he always showed potential. He's a great quarterback, great ball player. But since you've had Stetson, it's kind of hard to, you know, overtake that with all the leadership and, you know, just the consistency. But, you know, Carson's top dog. He's been there. He knows what's going on. And then you got Brock. He's a dog, of course, and he grew up in that area. I don't know if that would make a difference, but I believe it could. And he's shown potential. I didn't really get to see much of him because he came, I think it was the year I was leaving, he came in. And then Gunner, I don't know if it was him or what, but I think I might have played against Gunner in high school. It might have been my senior year or whatever, or maybe it was somebody else. But
he came out of Raven.
Exactly.
I don't remember.
We played Raven in second round of the playoffs. Vadea did, and they beat the crap out of us. So, I don't know. I mean, he's a dog too, though. So I mean, it just depends, and they all get to show their talent.
Yeah. You know, I was sitting here also thinking about this one. I know, obviously, you have, you know, since Nate was a former linebacker, I want to ask you this too. You know, I was sitting here thinking about it, right? With Pop Johnson, with Smile Mondin being another year older, right? You feel as those guys are basically entrenched in the spots for now. Obviously, you're going to rotate guys in, you know, but that leaves that outside linebacker spot, right? And how do you replace guys like Nolan Smith? Right. I think that matters too. You know, you look at guys like Chaz Chambliss and Darius Smith and things like that. And like, it's crazy just a matter of a couple of years in recruiting classes, how, you know, you look at that outside linebacker position and what Georgia used to do, like what you recruited to now what you're used to seeing recruited now. Like you have Darius Smith that's like 6'6", 240 as an outside linebacker. It's just nuts. What are your thoughts, like just kind of seeing the evolution there from, you know, kind of seeing that thicker linebacker, right, to even on the outside from time to time, to now that evolution of just basically like having the avatar out there. What are your thoughts on that? I mean, I feel like it's completely different from when you were playing to what it is now, though.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, we had guys. We had Randall Godfrey, who, you know, his older son is playing basketball at Clemson. His younger son just committed to Kentucky. He was probably maybe 6'3", middle linebacker that can just run like a 10-something. But outside of him, we just had a lot of smaller guys. I mean, they were gritty, they were tough. We got, you know, guys, Whit Marshall, you know, we had some other guys that were they were gritty, they were tough. But as far as the speed and the things that, you know, from what they possess, again, it'd be like, you know, and Nate, if you played with us back in the day, they probably would have had you everywhere, you know, honestly, because just the evolution of the linebacker. But, you know, watching your highlights, watching you play, it's just a different beast. And to say that the linebackers that played when I played, they obviously would not make the Georgia team, and that's not a slight against them, but it's just now just a different breed of a faster, grittier, smarter group of guys that are just going around just knocking heads off, so it's
Nate.
Different.
Nate, I don't know if you know this, Nate, but Raylan Wilson, one of the incoming linebackers, apparently he was clocked in on a catapult system at 23 miles an hour.
That's fast right there now. I tell you that is fast.
I mean, and the thing about it is, Nate, you were fast as shit too when you were coming out too. I mean, you were running track and everything like that. Juan still got a 4.7, he said.
Yeah, downhill in a hurricane.
Oh, okay. Dude, I probably couldn't even get it. Dude, I'd look at it and tear my ACL, man. I ain't gonna lie. Look at the 40-yard line. No, Pat says we know Juan can burn Kirby on the field, but can he burn Nate too? I don't know about that. I don't know about that. Nate, you probably still got it.
Not even close.
Hey, I got to stay in shape, man. I got to get around that car.
Yeah,
I was about to say, man, like, a lot of people, I know the first time you were on the show, Nate, we talked about, like you were kind of surprised. I was surprised a little bit too that, the athletes, like the amount of athletes that come out of, football to go to NASCAR, right? It's pretty impressive. What's training like for that? Like, Juan, you're familiar with the college workouts and stuff like that. Are there similarities there or what? I think that's interesting to kind of see if there's any kind of workout variances or anything like that.
Yeah, it's honestly, it's the same. I would say it's probably a little bit less just because our season is very long from February to November. So we're trying to maintain instead of, just get swole and that. But there's similarities too to football because, you want to get faster. You want to grow in your speed and maintain your body, make sure you don't get hurt. So flexibility and things like that. So there's a lot of similarities. Practices are not as long. They're not as hard. The coaches aren't yelling at you, but I mean, there's a lot of similarities. It's the camaraderie that makes it the best though. All the guys, that's what it's all about really.
So Juan's playing in a flag football game, alumni flag football game. Did they do that when you were playing? Did you hear anything about that? Is that an annual thing or no?
At Georgia?
Yeah, for G-Day, is that an annual thing, Juan, or no?
I know that they've had it for a number of years, but I don't know when it started, or I don't think that they had it back when I played. Like we just got rid of leather helmets back when I was playing. So
don't do that.
Shape of Adonis would tell you that the shape of the football was different.
Yeah, everything was different.
Field goal posts were in a different spot.
Yeah, there was an 8. It was an 8.
Texas A&M actually won a championship. Oh,
yeah, exactly. I tell you what though, Nate, I know, obviously, with the stuff that you do for NASCAR, how does the pressure of playing linebacker and the pressure of dealing with NASCAR, I mean, does that mirror each other?
I wouldn't say it's equal. Because, you in football, you have, well, at least at Georgia, you got 90,000 plus fans. And then you have to get the play call. And then you have to get the audible, I say audible, but the check for the call if they line up in something that, is not normal. NASCAR, you got the fans, you got the cars, they're super loud, which makes it really sound like a lot of fans. Yeah. But you're running really one play. So, I mean, it's the same choreography every time, which makes it easier. But it's a 3,000-pound car coming at you instead of a 300-pound man coming at you. So,
make you a little pucker moment for a second, I think. You just think about it like 303,000, add that extra zero, it makes a lot of difference.
Hey. That'll send you flying.
Speaking of loud, all right, I want to go to reminisce here, guys. I want to take a little road trip, if you will, back into Sanford Stadium. Right? Number 3 Georgia Bulldogs versus the number 1 Tennessee Volunteers. I don't know if you watched that game, Nate, but
I watched every game.
Okay, so you watched every game. So how did you feel? Like just watching just listening to it from the TV, like for me, it was ridiculous. What were your thoughts on that? Because like I feel like Juan, I don't know what it was like when you played, but I feel like the environment in Athens has completely done a like a night and day shift where it's just on a way different level now. Because if I'm not mistaken, there was a moment where they would show this, the CBS television would show, like the board, and it would have like 132 with an open west end zone. That's stupid. That's stupid.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, what's it like? I mean, what's it like when you've got that much, like, that loud? Like, because I'm sure there's been some games you've played, and Juan, you as well, just been ridiculously loud. I mean, what's that like from a player's perspective on the field, right? Because fans have it one way, y'all have it the other. What's that like?
Who's answering? Me or Juan?
I mean, both.
It doesn't matter. I don't care.
Yeah, both. I mean, both of them.
Go ahead.
Okay, I'll go first. I'll tell you what, it ain't nothing like it. There ain't nothing like it. It just, that adrenaline boost, it goes to a whole nother level. I don't know if you watch anime or nothing like that, but Dragon Ball Z, it feels like you go Super Saiyan. So, and it might be foreign language, but it's oh man, you can't describe it, honestly.
Yeah, being down on the field. I mean, again, just the day starting off with that, all just the band, just every part of it, the Superman. I mean, everything is just absolutely amazing. But when you make a play, offense or defense, special teams, whatever it is, and you hear that crowd, the electricity that goes through you is unlike anything that you can describe. Scoring a touchdown and being in the end zone and hearing that roar, and it's just coming down. It's indescribable. Like, you can't really, you can talk about it all day and still never have somebody understand what it's like. Or, again, for you, Nate, to make a big time play, interception, a sack, whatever it is, to hear that crowd is just, the electricity is unreal.
Yeah, that's for sure.
I mean, I feel like, I know, Nate, the Rose Bowl, right, was probably one of your biggest, like, loud, like, would have been arguably there, but I feel like it's just different. Like, Athens is just a different level from anything neutral site that you're going to experience, I would assume. Is that, is that fair to say?
Oh yeah. And you're at home too.
Yeah.
Everybody's got your back, not just half the crowd, or for our crowd or our fans instance, it's 3/4 everywhere we go. But
no, you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
But yeah, it's, oh man, they're cheering for you.
So. Yeah, no doubt. I mean, so, when you look at this, right, tomorrow, right, there's a lot of stuff going on, which I kind of want to allude to the next situation, right? UGA 10, retiring, and now you bring in Boom or UGA 11. You're doing the collar and ceremony right before G-Day. And obviously you graced the field with UGA X, right? Tell us more about that. Like, what does that mean to you? I mean, I feel like UGA has a role, like has a place in everybody's heart, but I'm sure as a player, y'all have a different level of, connection.
Of course, because, you're repping, I mean, UGA, UGA, your whole entire university is based, if you want to think about it like that, is based off a dog. So, I don't know. It's just, I've never met him, I don't think. Maybe I have, I'm not sure. But, we're always getting ready for the game.
Fair.
But, it's a symbol. It's a trademark. You can't look at the University of Georgia without thinking about UGA. So, I mean, it's awesome. And they always show him when he's on his little ice packs when it's hot outside. It's the best. It's the best.
No, so I find this interesting because, Juan, when you played, you had UGA 5, right? Was it 5?
I believe so. I know I never got an opportunity to pet him, but we walked past him because he sat in first class.
That dog is pampered. Dog is pampered.
But just like you said, man, UGA is Georgia. When you think of that, you just think of, you think of UGA, and what a cool mascot. And I had the opportunity to play in the game where, he tried to jump up and bite that Auburn player. That was kind of cool. So,
Juan was the one that got him to go after the receiver, by the way.
That's what it was. I tell you, that's what it was.
Yeah, sick him. Yeah, and again, just how awesome is it just to hear that "Go Dog, sick him," and then everybody's just doing that. Woo, woo, woo. It is. I tell you what, being a dog is great. Having UGA as your mascot is even better.
I tell you what, folks from Charlotte, they hate me because all I do is bark. So
yes, sir.
Boy, I'm telling you right now, man. We're sitting here. I mean, obviously, me being in like High Point, Greensboro area, right, Triad area.
Mhm.
Boy, they don't like me either.
Hey, I'm telling you, they can't stand it.
So I want to take a second. I want to take a second to talk about our little friends down in Gainesville last night. We're talking spring games. I hope y'all didn't watch that spring game last night. I hope y'all did not watch that.
You talking about?
No, I actually
yeah.
chose to watch a knitting show, the art of knitting versus watching that trash.
You learned more and were more entertained than watching that.
Yes,
clusterfuck down
exactly.
there. It was
Yeah.
bad. It was bad. Dude, I'm just saying. I sat there and I watched it, and I know, Juan, when you played, right, you had Spurrier there coaching, and you had Nate. You Florida was always a big game. It was always close. Shit like that. But how in a couple of years, a trajectory of a program seems to be just completely shifted. It's wild. But as Pat says, it indeed was Gator garbage.
Hashtag Gator garbage.
Absolutely. And listen, even though Utah is trash, they will decimate Florida.
Yeah, Utah is absolute garbage. They're
there you go.
Trash. Hey, I watched last week. I watched the Auburn spring game too, and it's funny. Even though it was raining and they were saying, "Oh, he can't throw the ball," they still look bad.
You talking about Auburn too?
Yeah, Auburn,
right. Yeah, that was rough. I mean, I mean, dude, I just feel like if we're trying to corral things back to Georgia, outside of Tennessee, I just don't see anyone in the East posing a problem. I mean, not even.
Yeah, Nate already called another three-peat. I mean, I just don't see. I don't see nationwide, and that's not from an arrogant standpoint, but I'm just saying I just don't see anybody in the nation that's going to have that toughness, that's going to have that physicality, and it's going to even really just give us a challenge. And just think about it. In 2021, we won it. We got over the hump. 2022, it was a, hey man, they think that we've lost all of this talent, all of this stuff to the draft. They don't think that we can do it. And guess what? They did it again. And the same thing. They're saying the same thing. There's no way that this group is going to be able to, stack up with them. And I'm telling you, all they do is just prove people wrong time and time again.
Dude, I'll tell you right now, like, I know we're kind of talking about this a little bit, right? Like, you have Tennessee fans thinking that they're going to be fine, right? But when you look at Tennessee, right, which is going to be I think our direct competition in the East, but even on the West, right, outside of LSU bringing back Jaden Daniels, which I think is big, Alabama's bringing a new quarterback, Ohio State's bringing a new quarterback, like, USC brought in Cliff Kingsbury, but they still ain't figured out the fucking defensive situation. Like they can't play defense, so
nobody can
good luck there. Yeah, I mean, you bring Alex Grinch in, and you're asking for trouble. But
hold on, what's up, Down South football? What's going on, man?
Down South football says big ups.
I wonder if that's some Lowndes, Valdosta, Albany. That's where I was born in Albany.
It's Albany.
Yeah,
it's Albany.
Albany. Let us know where you're from, Down South football.
I'm trying to. I can't see the chat.
It might be. You're on the phone, right?
Yeah, I see it now.
Okay.
No, I don't know who Joel is, but we ain't saying go.
That's the J-O-double-G.
Utah's absolute guard. She's a Utah fan. We've been trying to block her as much as we can. Birmingham, that's what's up.
Okay.
Birmingham, yes sir. Alabama's got some great high school football.
Boy, I'm telling you right now, Phoenix City, and I mean, if you look at it though, look at the situation where Georgia as a state, because I know y'all both played, right? Nate done got confused. There it is.
Yeah, I think so.
I'm trying to flip it around. I don't know what happened.
Man, but no, Juan.
Hey, act like you're in the pit crew, man. You got to do this.
We got to get it fixed. There it is.
Yes, sir.
Look at that.
Quick now, it's quick.
Yes, sir.
And just like that.
Hey, that's all I had to say is pit crew, and he got it.
Which I saw a comment up here earlier. Hold on one second. Joe Huff mentioned or said earlier, I thought it was pretty awesome last year when I first heard about Nate being on a pit crew just to be great at whatever you do. Nate, old dogs are champions too. Yeah, I mean, it is interesting, right? Like, I mean, it was cool to watch, like, on Sundays. That kind of makes you watch on Sundays. Yeah, I mean, I do, but that's just me.
Thank you.
I mean,
Said that. Thank you.
let's see. So Joel said Kobe must be locked down for his bad behavior. Nah, my man had to work. Like, he actually works. Yeah.
He's probably getting the field ready for G-Day tomorrow.
You know what, though? I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, yeah, okay. It's Nate. So JOWG wants to introduce herself as the financial manager for this podcast. It's dismal.
My apologies.
No, she takes all of our money and gets her nails done. We hadn't seen a dime of that money.
Buys Apatios coffee.
Where's my
exactly
NIL deal at?
Where's your NIL deal? Yeah, I'll get you a bag of coffee. I'm sure a guy over at Apatios will hook you up if you like coffee. Dude, I'm telling you right now. Hold on, you said you love coffee?
I love it. Dude,
I'm telling you right now. I can get you a hook up on some Apatios. We'll talk about it offline, but yeah, I promise you. Juan's not that much of a coffee drinker, but I promise you.
When they come out with those K cups, I'm gonna get them for sure.
Juan, we'll get you hooked up, man. We'll definitely get you. I'll find out for sure, but yeah.
Hey, Down South says yes. Bama has some great high school football. It's great to see Georgia and Bama being mentioned as the top states as far as talent. And we do. I mean, they do. They have a lot of great talent, and both of them they're picking up because beforehand it was all just kind of Florida and Texas. And now, you're getting those players. And one of the things I love about Kirby is he's keeping those Georgia players home. He's keeping those players in Georgia where they used to go all over the place. And again, he's dipping over into Alabama, into Florida, picking up these great players. And it's
going nationwide.
It's awesome. It is. I
mean,
awesome.
It's just think about it. I want to ask you this. So you had Isaac Nada, right? You played with Isaac Nada, Nate.
Yeah.
And I felt like Isaac was criminally underutilized.
Oh, yeah.
Criminally underutilized.
For sure.
Which kind of leads me to I want to stay within the tight end position because I saw Down South's comment about Georgia and Alabama in regards to high school talent. There is I call him a DGD featured athlete, bringing some local exposure to some kids up here local to me. Kid out of the 26 class, right? So that's a rising sophomore. Kendra Harrison will be at G-Day tomorrow, right? This kid as a freshman is 6'7", 237 as a tight end.
Wait, is that the one from Charlton County?
No, no, that's Elias Williams in the 25 class. But no, 2026 kid up here near me in Reedsville. 6'7", 237, had him on and talked about it. He's going to be in G-Day. So if you see him, you can't miss him. I promise you that. You can't fucking miss him. You just tell him we said what's up. But no, with that being said, the Georgia and Todd Hartley recruiting, I guess you could say like avatars in the elite level of recruiting. It's crazy to me when you look across the board, right? Linebackers, tight ends, receivers, I feel like it's getting even better. What are your thoughts on the recruiting success? Like just the overall, what are your thoughts on that?
It's awesome. I mean, you get that brand new facility, you get the eyes popping. Back then it was when I visited. I mean, it was great. It was a great facility, but now, I mean, I walked in there probably earlier. It was either earlier this year or last year. I can't remember, but I mean, I was just surprised. There's so much stuff to just look at. I mean, and there's the weight room by itself. Oh my gosh. I'd want to work out every day. Honestly. I mean, just the appeal of that. And then the coaches, all the coaches are just they're cool. And, they hit it home. They know how to hit it home.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Why wouldn't you? You've won back-to-back natties. Why wouldn't you?
Yeah. Ain't it, Juan, if I'm not mistaken, well, Nate too, we didn't even have an indoor facility, like indoor practice field until Kirby got there.
Yeah, I definitely didn't have one when I was there. But I'll tell you what, though, coming back to what Nate said, it's really a home feel. I mean, if you look at it, the majority of those coaches played at Georgia. And I think that's one of the great things that Kirby has done is he's brought these guys back home. Like Bobo is back home. Muschamp is back home. McClendon, I mean, is back home. And so,
Hartley.
Yeah, exactly. And so you're looking at these guys that, man, like Georgia is my home. Like this is where I want it to be. How much more of a family can you have? And Nate, you hit it right on the head, man. That's the reason that these kids are like, this feels like home. It is because you've got guys that have been there. You know, unlike you go to a lot of these other programs, and these coaches are looking for their next step up. You know, they're looking for the next greatest thing. So they're not planted to stay. Kirby is planted. Those guys that he's brought back are planted, and there's still other guys that coach that played at Georgia, played with Kirby, that's still trying to get there.
Yeah, it's true. That's very true.
You know, which I think it's another thing too, right? When the consistency, I think that's another thing, especially with regards to recruiting, right? The fact that you have Bobo as offensive coordinator, he's not going to leave on us unless we make him go. I feel like, and I think you could honestly say the same about Muschamp, but I mean, being co-DC, I don't know how y'all feel about that, but I think, like you said, though, Juan, you talk about Kirby Smart being head coach played at Georgia. You look at Will Muschamp, played at Georgia. Bobo played at Georgia. Like, I don't see it.
Same thing.
Well, yeah, McClendon too. So you don't see this situation where guys want to. It's like they don't necessarily have to leave. They're in a good spot anyway. Georgia's the standard right now. I mean, you win back-to-back championships. I think you've earned the right to call yourself the standard for the time being. You know, and Wallace Smith, welcome in to the brigade, said, "What's good, fellas?" Not much. We are sitting here reminiscing, or at least for Nate and Juan reminiscing. I want to pose this question to you though, Nate. Tomorrow, right? As a freshman, right? Who do you see, or who do you want to see just stand out? Who do you think stands out tomorrow?
You said in the freshman class?
Well, I mean, it could be anybody, but I was going to get to a question about freshmen.
Who do I want to see stand out? I want to see all three quarterbacks stand out. I want it to be a very hard decision for Kirby to make, because that gives us more trust. Also, my boy Ryan, he's a linebacker. I think this is his last year now. He's a great guy. He's a dog.
Ryan Davis?
Yeah, that's my boy.
Oh, okay.
Trouble. We call him Trouble.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Yeah, I want to see him show out for sure. He's the old head now, so, you know, he's taking control. But, yeah. I mean, that's everybody else, you know. Dan Jackson, is he playing? Is he going to be good for there?
Not necessarily sure.
I don't know.
I think with him coming back from that injury, you know how Georgia is. Georgia will, and I applaud this, honestly. They will not, you know, they will look after your well-being and save you from yourself, I feel like.
Yeah, for sure. But, yeah, no, that's how I feel. Juan, if you want to add.
I was going to say, Juan, what about you, sir?
Another guy, and you mentioned it earlier, is Chaz Chambliss. I like Chaz. He's a Carrollton guy. We actually played against him. You know, my kids were at Buford. So, you know, we had a chance to play against him. My son dropped back one time and threw a pass and absolutely got flipped upside down by Chaz. And so you have a lot of respect for a guy that can, you know, that can do that. So I hope he does well. Denylon Morset, he's a receiver that came out of North Cobb. I had an opportunity to coach him a little bit. He's a fantastic guy. I hope that he actually shines in the receiver group. And I'm with Nate. If our quarterbacks show out and we get that trust, I just think that sets and puts a lot of us at ease. I truly believe we're going to have a three-peat, but you just have that question mark at quarterback. And I think that tomorrow, all three of these guys will have an opportunity to solidify themselves. And if, you know, and have that situation, if one goes down, guess what? We're fine. And if another one goes down, guess what? We're fine.
Yeah. So I think for me, I really want to, I know it probably doesn't sound appealing, but I want to see the D-line. I want to see how we're going to replicate the production that we lose with losing Jalen Carter. I think that's going to be a big factor for us, and we've got talented guys, and there's a lot of them, right? But Jalen Carter was different. You know what I mean? Like Jalen Carter was just different, and so now you have him going to the NFL draft. I mean, you've got guys. I mean, like you got Zion Logue and Nazir Stackhouse and Bear Alexander. Rich really came on late. You know what I mean? Really strong, ultimately, in my opinion. But then you got new freshmen, man. Like I genuinely think, or Christian, I'm gonna shout out Christian Miller too. I feel like people forget about him already, and that's a terrible idea. But when you look at the freshmen in this cycle, right? You look at Jordan Hall. Jordan Hall could be the next big thing, and then Jamal Jarrett, my guy, right? 6'5", 350, right? That Jordan Davis clone, like, and I don't want to make it sound like an easy comp, Nate, but yeah, seeing him in person, yeah, it's insane. I watched that kid, and this is what makes me feel confident about the future of the defensive line with Trey Scott. With getting Jamal Jarrett, you're getting a guy that will gladly, right, take up double teams and be fine with it. And that's what I'm looking forward to see how he goes, whether it's against the ones, things like that, and how his weight has come, right? His weight loss. I think they're going to have to kind of do the same thing as Jordan Davis, right? Trying to keep that weight down. It would not surprise me in the run game if he stands out. And I think that's someone that I'm going to be watching for. Bias, sure, but I'm going to be watching to see what he does for sure.
You got me. So.
I mean, I'm just listen. I'm excited for this freshman class. I feel like there was a lot of key pieces. One, we talk about receiver. You bring in Anthony Evans, pure speed. Yazid Haynes, I think you have speed and route running. But I want to talk to Juan about this. You said Denali Morissette, things like that. But do you think Rara or do you think Marcus Rosemary-Jack-Saint could have the better day in regards to trying to find that X receiver to replace not Tyler Williams, but A.D. Mitchell? I mean, just from your receiver perspective, what do you think?
I mean, I like Rara. He's a proven guy, and he played under a great system. And I think he's actually going to come in here and show a lot of leadership as well. You know, he had that trouble that kind of, you know, plagued him a little bit, you know, thinking that he wasn't even going to be able to play. So he's got a lot to prove. A lot of eyes are going to be on him. A lot of eyes are going to say, hey, how is he going to respond to all that craziness that was going on? And will he step up and be a big time player? And I say yes. Kirby has a great way about him of turning guys that could seem like they are going down the wrong path or some knuckleheads and making them want to play for that G, you know, and at the end of the day, you know, and not to steal from Kellen Winslow Jr., but, you know, when he was at Miami saying it's all about this U, it really is all about that G. And those guys are playing for that G on that helmet. There's nobody bigger than the program. There's nobody bigger than that G, and they prove that. And so it's more of a privilege than it is anything just to be on that field.
Nate, I got a question for you. Right, we brought up Stetson Bennett earlier in the show, but I have a question for you. Will Stetson Bennett get drafted?
Man, I tell you what, if you want my honest opinion, and I'm biased, but if you want my honest opinion, I think he should be first round. And
boom, Juan, suck it.
I know the whole.
We need to remove Nate off of the program.
Came here as a walker.
We paid too much money for this.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I've never, and I was right beside him. I've never seen somebody so poised. Now I know at times we were like, "Oh, well, what's going to happen?" But I mean, I've never seen somebody so poised after they had just messed up, threw a pick, whatever. I tell you what, he's better than half the guys they got before him. That's for sure. And I never mind. I'm not gonna name no names.
No, fair point. Juan's over here just sitting there grinning. I mean, the reason why I asked you this question, Nate, is because me and Juan have a ongoing bet with regards to the NFL draft and Stetson Bennett. I think he gets drafted. Juan thinks he will not.
I think he'll be later rounds though.
I mean, yeah, I was thinking the same thing. I don't see it being like maybe earliest day 2, but I think day 3. I mean, like I said, I want to chill out, relax. But no. So the bet, if Stetson gets drafted, I'm getting my man Stetson Bennett jersey over there. He's gonna rock it for a show.
Yeah.
And I think I have to wear, what is it, an Auburn or Florida shirt?
Well, you already have an Auburn and a Florida shirt that you.
No, I don't. I do not have one of those.
You claim it's like salmon or whatever, but it's
Bro,
Auburn.
Nah, it ain't a goddamn Auburn shirt. Stop playing. Stop playing. Oh my god. But no, so if he does not get drafted, I'll probably have to get a Gator shirt or something. I don't know. Just to give me a Utah shirt, just like pure trash.
Yeah.
At least it's red too,
Yeah,
I guess.
Utah is awful.
I mean, at least I can say I can't say that because Florida beat them. So hooray, Utah.
It's true.
God, you're making me really feel bad right now. Stetson Bennett, please get drafted. That's all I'm going to say. I don't want to wear a fucking Florida shirt.
Yeah.
I don't want to do it.
It ought to be a Utah shirt.
Wallace says he thinks Jack Sand is going to benefit the most because he knows the system. And you know what?
Agreed.
I mean, listen, I think, and if we're going to go back to the Tennessee game, but that touchdown catch right under the goalpost, Juan.
Yep.
Where the two, got the 10 toes down. I think that was a big time, I wouldn't say morale booster, but a confidence builder for me with him. Because you look at the situation where now you have A.D. Mitchell going to Texas. Right? Now you need that X receiver, right? Perimeter blocking, I think, is a specialty for Marcus Roseman-Jack saying that kick and block his ass off. But who's going to go out and catch these passes, right? I think you have a good situation. I think because, we saw what Rara did against us. He did very good against us. Yeah. And Marcus Roseman-Jack Saint can do that as well. I think it's a good situation. TriStar says, can we say that both Tennessee and Georgia are going to skull fuck Florida by 50? Pardon the language, but whatever. Yeah, it's going to be bad. It's dude, listen, this is a perfect time to bring this up. When this comes up, folks, head over to BetUS, DGDpodcast.com/BetUS. Smash that fucking, smash the spread. Just smash it.
Oh, man.
Book it right now. Well, it is April 14th, 2023 at 8:51 p.m. You can bookmark this shit. I don't care. Florida's getting beat by at least 3 touchdowns, both teams. Easily. Yeah. Easily. It's just that simple. No, sorry. Joel says haters. No. You're a Utah fan. I'm sorry. I can't. No, we're not a hater. We're being realistic for you. Thanks to the podcast funds. My nails are amazing. Yeah. You abuse the system. Can't do shit with you.
She does.
I had to pay for my own Waffle House today. Jesus Christ.
She needs to be audited.
No. Yeah. Well, good though.
Let's see. Smash the spread like Grant Merck's completion percentage. Yeah, that was boy, that was rough. But no. So obviously with G-Day tomorrow, got one laughing again. It feels different, man.
That's good.
Nate,
that's good.
Did you know about the tennis team, Juan?
No.
So tomorrow at 1, Ole Miss comes to town, and the men's tennis team has a match at 1 for the possibility of an undefeated conference season.
No way.
Yeah, I think they're 4th in the country.
Wow. I knew. I was friends with a couple of those guys, so.
It's crazy to kind of see that the tennis team, because both men and women's team, I know it's not football right now, but both of them are top 5.
Like
both of them.
Women's tennis team, they've dominated.
Yeah, they're good. They're good. But no, that's just another thing, right? Like tomorrow in Athens is about to be ridiculous because you've got the tennis matchup, you've got Juan's football game, right? The flag football game. Mm-hmm. You got the collar ceremony right before G-Day. And then, funny enough, SEC Shorts is doing a show in Athens because we won the title again.
Wow.
Yeah.
Just a busy day in Athens.
I think the biggest thing of that whole thing is probably going to be the alumni flag football game. So they may actually show that on ESPN2 out, other than, instead of G-Day. So
they better.
Yeah.
telling you.
Hey, Nate, you want to get one laughing? You want to get one laughing?
Nate needs to be on the show more often, man.
I'll tell you, you want to make one laugh like that? Just mention Monsters Ball. He knows what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah.
Dude, that inside story for a show he was on.
Yeah.
Yeah,
hey,
that was.
now we're gonna have to block Wallace Smith now.
Bennett
will get drafted in the fifth or sixth round. We have to block.
Nah, fuck that one. That's a veto. He stays. He stays.
Wallace and Nate have to be blocked from here on out.
Bro, what? I'm playing. What if? What if he gets drafted in like the 4th or 5th round? One.
Oh man, I'll just shoot myself.
Listen, look at the quarterbacks. Look at the quarterbacks in this draft class.
Oh, it's awful. It's pretty bad.
Like next year, listen, next year's quarterback class will be good.
Yeah, it's going to be good. They have Tanner McKee, the Stanford quarterback. They have him listed like in the top 13. They're saying that he's probably most likely either going to be late round or not drafted at all. So.
Yeah. So TriStar brings up a good comment. Imagine if you guys also had HaHa Clinton Dix in your secondary right now. Rah getting covered by HaHa. Say that 3 times fast. Yeah. But no, I kind of want to let's kind of wrap this up a little bit. I think it's a good time to do that. Listen, you got the ceremonies tomorrow, the festivities. I feel like football's back, even if it's a spring game. Football's back, and I feel like in Athens you're going to see like it's September. I just feel like environment's coming. I really do. Obviously the second flag should get raised up. I believe ring ceremony. I mean, from the G-Day, let's do a score prediction just for shits and giggles. This gets interesting, right? The red and black team. Predict a score. You want to predict a score, Juan?
I would say, well, for the first game, the alumni flag football.
Yeah.
The black team 63, the red team 3. And then for the regular G-Day game, I'd say the black team, I'd say 33-15, something crazy like that.
Interesting.
All right.
Nate, what do you got, my man? What do you got?
Do we know who the number 1 defense is with? What color? Because I'm going with them regardless.
Yeah.
You going with the number 1 defense. Fair. I mean, yeah, it's fair.
Either way, whatever color it is. So I got the number 1 D and the number 2 O or number 2 offense. I got them winning. We'll say, let's do 31 to. We'll go 21. 31-21.
I like that.
31-21. I'm gonna go 27-24. Red team. I don't know which is which again, but I'm just gonna say red. It could be red or black, but I mean I feel like the first team offense. Listen, I'm excited to see Mike Bobo back at offensive coordinator, and people can hate on that.
No, I don't. I don't know. But anybody that does should be ashamed of themselves.
Nate, you kind of get where this is coming. I thought that Mike Bobo wasn't the problem his first time at offensive coordinator. I felt like, unfortunately, Mark Richt was very conservative, and it put him in predicaments. And then you also had Willie Martinez as your DC. That's terrible. That's absolutely dog crap. So now that you've got a defense that's given up 10, 11 points a game, and an offense that he can throw with Hudson Mason, 41.3 points a game. Tell me I feel confident about that.
Oh, yeah.
Say that now. So I got 27-24. I'm going to say red team. It might be black.
Yeah. Star made a good point about all those quarterbacks that are coming out next year. I mean, that's a lot of them. And he didn't even mention there's a good, strong chance Quinn Ewers is coming out. He'll be coming out as well. I mean, it's going to be quarterback rich next year.
See, Wallace talks about, do realize that Monken is with Baltimore now. He thinks Stetson could get drafted. Listen, I would love it for Stetson because I think that will help him. I just don't see that. Want to put them fucking thumbs back up. Put them down. Nah, listen, I don't see him going to Baltimore. I think I think you look if any team gets them. I think you look at a situation where the quarterback right has already been solidified. There's no question. You need
Put him
listen.
on.
Yeah, I mean,
it would make more sense because he would fit that Baltimore system. However, Baltimore is going to be a monster. I mean, they just got who's the receiver that they just got? I can't even think. He played
OBJ.
OBJ, yeah. So they got him. They're going to be pretty good. TriStar says he thinks that the Falcons will take Stetson.
Hey, their quarterback situation is far from settled. Listen, another thing. So there's two factors for me that makes me believe Stetson's going to get drafted, Nate. Brock Purdy, Mr. Irrelevant for the 49ers, did his thing.
Yeah.
And the 49ers also went through 4 quarterbacks in a season.
Now, wait a minute. Now, let me ask you. So when we're talking about drafted, are we also talking about the XFL?
I'm focused on NFL.
If that's the case, there's a good, strong chance he'll be drafted XFL.
Nah, I think he'll go NFL, man. Listen, if Trace McSorley just got signed to finally to the Patriots. If Trace McSorley can get drafted, believe me, Stetson Bennett can get drafted.
Yeah, I think so. Hey, there's some good arena teams too. You know, the Iowa Barnstormers. That's where Kurt Warner played, man. I look at Nate. Nate knows it, man. Nate knows it.
Man, listen, I didn't sign up for the fucking player haters ball tonight, okay? My man, the most diabolical hater this side of the Mississippi. Yeah. No, in all seriousness, though. Listen, Jake Fromm, and love Jake, what he did, leading us to the Natty as a freshman. But, I mean, listen, he got drafted in the 5th round, too. I thought it was a terrible fit because of the system, right? His arm strength was the question mark for a lot of people. But if you're smart, things like that, you can at least get a shot. I seriously think so. Just because Bennett played with us and won 2 natties, he's going to get drafted. I mean, listen, that's a good argument, but we have to be fair here in this assessment. Like how much of that offseason fiasco in Texas is going to play a part in that? The politics aside, you know what I mean? Like I don't
think that that's going to be that big of a deal. I mean, hell, Jameis Winston was the biggest clown on the planet, and he still got drafted. You know, just a complete knucklehead. Far worse things than Stetson Bennett. So I don't think that's going to be that big of a deal. I mean, hell, he's going around there. He's a national champion. He's knocking on doors and he's having fun. That's really not that big a deal.
Yeah, I mean, I told him to lay off the pad, but he just didn't want to listen to me. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's fair enough. I mean, but in all seriousness, though, right? Like,
that tried killing me.
So what now?
There's a comment that I'm not going to say on YouTube. Let's just be real here. Just read it, you'll get it. But yeah, I mean, listen, G-Day, ESPN2, 4:00. Juan will be the star of the flag football game. Listen. If you see Juan Daniels there,
hit the gritty.
Hit the gritty? No, hit the medic alert button is what you need to hit.
Hit life alert.
The life alert, yeah. Yep. Hey, I'm gonna be running routes and I'm just gonna be ready to press it just like that.
Hold on. Not one. Let's be serious. You're gonna be rolling.
Oh yeah.
He gonna be rolling.
Like 2 wheelchair.
Wheelchair. My man gonna have that. He gonna have skid marks on the field, just burning them damn things up.
Yes, sir.
Hold on. You ready for this? Nate? Want to go see that wheelchair going? It looked like he's spinning out and getting out of the pit stop.
Oh.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey, I'm gonna have Nate right next to me, man. That's what I'm talking about. Pit crew.
Hey, wherever JOGG is, we need to allocate some funds real fast. Nate, go down there and be the pit crew, change his tires.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Those wheelchair tires are thin, man. We gotta need them every few laps. You know what I mean?
Exactly. I get it.
Anyway, oh my God, damn, Jesus, help me. Look, I hope everybody that goes watching this goes going to Athens, be safe, have fun. Spring football's here, but football's back, right? This is your unofficial start to the season for me. It's back. I'm happy. I'm juiced to the fucking gills. Like, I'm excited. But with that being said, Nate, It was a pleasure having you on again, man.
Thank you.
I don't know whether to call him Nasty Nate, NASCAR Nate. I mean, there's so many.
I put in the chat Nate the Great. I'm going
Nate
with
the
that,
Great.
man.
I mean, you got one. I mean, you got the GOAT, the Great, like Nate the Great. Like it just clicks. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it just rolls.
As long as it ain't negative, I'll be all right.
Yes, sir.
Fair. As I take a sip of my Kool-Aid that someone probably spit in because it's a player haters ball right now. Juan Daniels is a player hater of the year.
Yeah.
But with that being said, if anybody wants to follow you, man, on your NASCAR journey and everything like that, where can they follow you?
So you can follow me on, I know I'm young, but I do have a Facebook. I know Facebook, just my name, Nate McBride. Instagram is McBride_era13. And then I want to put this in there. We just started a solely pit crew based Instagram page. It's called Pit Crews. I follow them if you want to look through my followers and find them. We put it's really just Joe Gibbs Racing Pit Crew. What we do, we talk about random stuff. We show practices, workouts, things like that. So it's almost like a day in the life. So it's pretty cool.
There you go, folks. Go give him a follow, McBride_era13 on Instagram. Don't have a Twitter. Is there any plans for a Twitter?
I used to, and I was verified too, which was nice, but it never got back into it.
Oh my God, the hackers, man. They're good for that. They're really good for that. But listen, other than that, Juan, welcome back to the show. Glad to be off the milk carton, I think.
Yes,
maybe.
Sir. Yes,
you gonna be here Monday?
Yeah, I'll be here. I'll be here Monday, not Wednesday. So
Monday, not Wednesday. Damn it! Back to the milk carton he goes. Jesus.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But no, in all seriousness, again, Nate, thank you for coming on, man. It was a pleasure talking to you. Juan, it was good seeing you again on screen.
Yes, sir.
And hope everyone enjoys their night, their weekend. We'll be back on here Monday to recap. More so the flag football game. So just get prepared. But also G-Day, right? G-Day secondary to Juan Daniels on the show, apparently.
Yes,
so we'll be doing that. TriStar, last question. Are you going to North Wilkesboro?
Yes, I will be going. That's our race. So, yeah, we're getting ready to go. We're going to slide.
Okay. That's what I'm talking about.
Come on. We Martinsville this weekend, though. Look for the 43 car. That's be on.
43 car.
43 Eric Jones.
Will your hair be hanging out?
Hair?
Okay. You'll see that hair just flowing, majestic hair like Juan wishes he had.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you got
Don't hurt yourself, Juan. You got to prepare, man.
That's true. That's true.
All right, guys. With that being said, hey, again, Nate, as always, you're welcome anytime. Thanks for coming on again. We will see y'all Monday. Hope y'all enjoy DGD After Dark, and go Dogs.
Go Dogs.
Appreciate y'all.